Hello and welcome to a new episode of the 9521 Atlanta Baseball Podcast as we are live on X once again to talk some Braves baseball after another super successful week for our Atlanta Braves. I'm Jason and waiting on my co-host Mike, who will join us shortly. And we're going to talk about the week that was in Braves baseball and just kind of take a look at things from a trade standpoint as well as we're getting closer to the trade deadline. I still got to get to the All-Star break coming up. But the way the Braves have started and the way they are dominating their division at the moment, I think it's only natural for Braves fans to look ahead and wonder what kind of additions Alex Anthopoulos, the general manager, can make as we head to the trade deadline that, would push the Braves over the top to be World Series contenders again. Obviously already World Series contenders, but what moves could they make that could potentially really get them over the hump and ensure that they end up in the World Series? So the week that was, obviously another successful week. As my co-host is about to join us here in just a second, Mike's jumping on. And hey, Mike, welcome aboard.
How we doing?
Good, man. Good to have you. And I was just getting started, just kicking it off, talking about the week that was, and of course, another successful week as the Braves take 2 of 3 from Toronto and then get what has been kind of a rare thing for the Braves this year, despite their success, a sweep over the Pittsburgh Pirates over the weekend. So another successful week, and it was good to see the sweep. They've had a hard time finishing the series when they've been up 2-0. That third game has gotten them. So it was good to see that, Mike.
Yeah, it was good to. It was also good to see the Big Bear, see him come back.
It was, yeah, great moment, great moment.
But it does feel like that every single time we have a series, it's 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, which is fine because that means we're winning 66% of the games.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, usually that equates to like a 90 to 100 wins, puts you usually in the playoffs, so that's okay, that's fine. But yeah, we just seem to never be able to pull off a sweep.
Well, it was nice from many angles. First, it looked like a game the Braves might drop. One of those lazy Sunday afternoon performances they've kind of become famous for or infamous for the last few years. But Michael Harris gets a big double to drive in 3 runs, and they overcome a deficit there. And then also because the Phillies are playing really good baseball. I think every time we can, move closer to the end of the season with a victory, it's good because the Phillies keep winning. And they're 9.5 games back. So the good thing is, despite their success since Don Mattingly took over the managerial duties, the Braves have not ceded any ground, really, maybe a game in the standings. So that was another thing. The Phillies won yesterday. It was good for the Braves to win. Just keep that lead. Let's just keep it nice and comfy at 9.5, 10 games. That would be great. So, yeah, it was great from a lot of standpoints. Kind of bookended by 2 really good, again, Bryce Elder starts. I mean, there's really not much else to say about that guy at this point, except I think we understand we can count on him. There's been a lot of debate I've heard this week, Mike, though, about the pitching staff. I've seen it on social media. I've heard it on other broadcasts. Do you feel confident going into the postseason with Bryce Elder as your number 2? Because right now he is our number 2.
I would love to say yes with how he's pitched all the season, but probably not.
Yeah.
Like he to me is more of a 4, I would say at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you get into the postseason. You froze up a little bit there, Mike. You get into the postseason and things are just different. It's just different. Bryce Elder, patchwork starting rotation with Bryce, Grant Holmes, and Strider's not at his best right now, obviously, or maybe this is Strider's best now. We don't know yet. that's fine in a regular season, but when you get to the postseason, I'd like to see a different number 2. Mike, you're frozen up on us. If you can hear me, buddy, you're completely frozen, so you may have to dip out and dip back in. But in the meantime, yeah, there he is. He's back. You're unfroze. Unfroze.
I don't know what happened.
It's all good. I was kind of agreeing with you. I was saying, Bryce Elder and Grant Holmes and Strider at probably, I don't know, 90% of what Strider was before can probably get you through the regular season. But I feel like Anthopoulos needs to look around for a solid number 2. Now, who that is, I'm not sure. Me and you had this talk the other night, just you and I, and I don't love the options that are out there, Mike, as far as somebody that just really moves the needle for me. Now, obviously, you got Tarek Skubal out there. I think that's never going to happen with Anthopoulos. He's not going to mortgage the farm for what would be a rental because Skubal's not going to sign an extension. Scott Boras is not going to let him do that in his free agency possibilities. So, I don't see that happening at all. So what does that leave us with, Mike? Who's on your radar as far as somebody the Braves could pick up that would be kind of that number 2 guy?
Well, I did. This is what I was doing basically for the last 2 hours, trying to figure out a few positions who we could possibly pick up, and then I separate them into three different categories. Like ones that might be a pipe dream, ones that I would like, and the ones that I see out there which I don't really think I would even want.
Yeah.
So for starting pitchers, I put pipe dreams were Logan Webb and Joe Ryan. I would love them. They at least Logan Webb has at least 2 years of left on his contract, so he would be under control for a while. But that's probably going to take a lot to get him, and sure. I don't want to give up, Ken Caminiti and Owen Murphy and Didier Fuentes, too much. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be way too much. Someone that I would like that I'm seeing that possibly might be out there would be someone like a Casey Mize from Detroit or Michael Wacha from Kansas City.
Yeah,
those I think could be doable and not cost the farm. Ones that I see out there that I didn't like were like someone like a Reed Detmers or Mitch Keller.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. None of those names really excite me a lot. I will say this for postseason play. I feel like Logan Webb and Joe Ryan are better built for that. Veteran starters. I'm willing for Anthopoulos to do a little more than he normally does as far as giving up prospects because a couple things. 40-plus years of fandom as a Braves fan, I've seen 2 World Series titles, and I'm grateful for both of them. But I'd sure like to see another one with this group, because they have the potential. Secondly, we don't know what's going to happen next season. I mean, there is at least a decent chance that we miss a significant amount of baseball next year. And, what does MLB look like when we come back from that? And so you're talking about really 2028 before we see a full season of Braves baseball again. And what is the collective bargaining agreement going to change? Are the Braves going to have to cut payroll? We just don't know. So I wouldn't mind Anthopoulos giving up a few more prospects than I would normally. I'm not a big fan of doing that because it kind of mortgages your future down the road. But I kind of want to go for it, Mike. And if it takes a little more to get a Logan Webb or a Joe Ryan, I just don't think the prospects are worth that middle tier starter. I think if we're going to get somebody, it needs to be somebody that we can say, hey, game 2, this guy's going to go out there and shove. And other than those 2 guys on that list, and of course Skubal, which isn't happening, I don't see it. To me, Webb is exactly the kind of guy that Anthopoulos would look at because of those 2 years of control. That's the guy he wants. He doesn't want the guy going to free agency. So, I'm okay. If down the road we give up somebody that turns into a superstar, okay, we'll have to live with the Adam Wainwright thing, forever. But that's baseball, right? And if we get a championship out of it, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. I would love Logan Webb. He's been in the playoffs. He I don't remember how well he's done. I can't remember for sure. Excuse me. But yeah, team control, proven starter, a top 5 or top top 5 twice in Cy Young voting. Proven guy. So I wouldn't have a problem with him, but I just don't. I don't see AA going out there and doing it. I see him. I feel like it'll be too much for even him to pay. I could see him going after someone like a Casey Mize, because Casey he had a really good season last year. He's having a better start this year, but he's kind of under the radar. So that he tends to go for the under the radar people, like a Soler and stuff like that. So I could see him going for someone like that.
Yeah, and I would not be disappointed at all to get Casey Mize. I like Casey Mize. He's an Auburn guy. I'm an Auburn guy. Followed his career. I just don't know that would be like, okay, I'm really super confident in Casey Mize in game 2 against the Dodgers. Yes, I would feel good about it, but not as good as I'd feel about Logan Webb or maybe Joe Ryan. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's an interesting question. We got plenty of time. I feel very confident that Anthopoulos is thinking along the same lines. Like, this might be the time to really go for it here. Our farm system is much better off than people thought it was and that we thought it was. It's very much deeper than we thought. So I think we can part with some guys. You said something a minute ago I hadn't even thought about. And it's been turning the gears since you said it. And that is the way he has performed this season. Fuentes has become a major trade bait guy. Now, I don't know if they would trade him. I doubt they want to trade. He's so valuable right now. I mean, he came in and closed that game on Sunday. Yeah. Got himself in a little trouble and got out of it and closed the game. But, man, the way he's performed, Mike, when you said that, the bells went off. Like, he's a guy that teams are going to ask about, and we can't give him up for nothing. I mean, it's got to be something really good. But when you said that, it just kind of blew my mind because I hadn't even thought about it. I hadn't even thought about Fuentes being in that. That kind of trade discussion.
Yeah, and that's that. I mean, the good thing is we have a bunch of young arms. So with Fuentes, with Richie, with Cam Kennedy, Owen Murphy. Like, we have a bunch of good. Like, my thought is I don't want to give up too much of them. Like,
yeah,
you want to give away position players. Like, I've heard Lodis is possibly expendable for them.
Yeah,
him and one of the pitchers, okay, not like 2 or 3 of the pitchers and him. That's too much, and I don't want him to overspend and completely mortgage the farm. I get it, and you're right. We don't know if we're going to have baseball at all in 2027 or part of season. We don't know. So I would love to go into that lockout with or work stoppage, whatever you want to call it. As defending champ, I would love that. But
that'd be great. It'd be great. I tweeted earlier today or late last night that I truly, truly hope I get to change the name of the podcast in November. Yeah, people will be like, "What are you going to change it to?" I'm like, "Look, I'll cross that bridge when I get there." But
yeah,
I would love to have that problem. Absolutely love to have that problem. So we'll see. I want to do a quick rundown, just some stats. Our guy Nicholas Eck, as usual, put together the stats for the week and updated everything for us, and just kind of glancing at some things that stood out. Obviously, Mike, Mauricio Dubon continues to just, what a pickup by Anthopoulos. A 1-for-1 for Nick Allen. So this week, Dubon batted .368. He had 3 homers, 7 ribbies. He had a double thrown in there, only struck out 4 times, was responsible, scored 6 runs. I mean, we've talked about it, but the contribution that that guy's made, and it appears too, Mike, that he is just a great clubhouse guy, and his leadership and his personality have really rubbed off in the clubhouse and helped out there too. What an amazing pickup for Anthopoulos for what we gave up. I mean, no offense to Nick Allen, but
no, we fleeced Houston on that one. We did, because he's worth 3 Nick Allens. Because not crapping on Nick Allen, he was pretty good. He's good in the field.
He could pick it out.
Not the greatest bat, but he was pretty good. But Doobie has been just lights out. He has more RBIs this season in early June than he had all of last season for the entire season last year.
Crazy.
Absolutely nuts. And you were saying clubhouse guy, not just with the other players, he's paying for lunch for the grounds crew. Yeah. Come on, like that's incredible. That's no one goes that far. Like, at least you don't hear about it, at least.
Yeah, no, look, he's made everybody forget about some guy named Jurickson Profar. I don't even know who that guy is. Never want to hear it again. So yeah, he had a great week. Michael Harris continues to be solid. Batted 294 this week, 4 ribbies. He had 3 doubles, including that big one on Sunday. Only struck out 3 times. He did get a walk this week, so you always have to make note of that with Mikey. Acuna, after the hot streak, he's cooled back down, but he hit 261 this week. No homers. Only 1 RBI. He did strike out 7 times, which is the most on the team this week. So still kind of waiting for Acuna to get that hot streak and then keep it for a while. It was a quick one at 2 batter-friendly ballparks at Fenway and Great American. So we'll see if he can bounce back. Matt Olson had a good week, 333, a homer, a couple of ribbies. He had a double as well. So, Ozzie Albies, another good week, 294. He's back kind of on one of his hot streaks. He had a homer and 7 RBI for Ozzie this week. Austin Riley, Austin, we've seen some signs, Mike. We've seen some signs. He had a couple big hits. He batted 200 for the week, had a couple of ribbies. Only struck out 4 times. If you want to look for a positive for Riley, only that. 4 strikeouts. We'll take that at this point. But overall, a good week. Ha-Seong Kim, still struggling mightily. Only 1 hit this week, 143.
Back under 100.
Yeah, youch. Not sure what you do there, Mike. I mean, he's got to get at bats to get better, but and the Braves right now, obviously with a 9.5 game lead, the way they're playing, they can afford, I guess, to put him in there. But man, when Mateo's in there, that speed Mateo has, he can beat out ground balls. He's hitting the ball well. It's got to be tough for Weiss to fill out that lineup card and not put Mateo in there shortstop every day.
And if it was Kim and not Mateo on first when Michael hit the double,
yeah,
Kim doesn't score.
Yeah,
only Mateo scores on that.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, Mateo brings a dynamic spot there that Kim doesn't, and Kim's also made some fielding errors. I mean, I just don't know. I hope he snaps out of it. I know they're going to continue to give him at bats. They invested $20 million in him, so he's going to get his shot. But I hope he finds it. I hope Kim finds it. I don't think he can be this bad all year, but we'll see. We'll see. I hate to say I say that, but then I've seen his performance. I just don't know. On the pitching side, Bryce Elder, as I mentioned, Bryce bookended the 2 starts this week. He started the first game against Toronto and the finale against Pittsburgh, and we won both games. He didn't get the win in that second one, but Braves win both games. And again, Bryce, just continues to shove. And the offense did him a solid on Sunday and rallying. But Bryce now is up to he's up to 5-3 this year with a 2.66 ERA. He struck out 71, walked 25. I mean, 1.5 WAR at this point. 1.051 WHIP, which is only slightly higher than Chris Sale at 1.032. So Bryce continues to do his job. Starting pitching in general. I mean, people get on Grant Holmes a little bit, and I get frustrated with Grant. But you know what? He gives us that 5 innings. He keeps them in the game. Now, he's a guy that's not going to start a postseason game for you. Neither is Martin Perez, I don't think. But then Martin Perez is still shoving. I mean, the guy's got a 3.02 ERA. Strider's the one I want to talk about, though, Mike. What are your thoughts on Spencer as he continues to kind of be a little up and down? He's working through some things. He's got a 4.00 ERA, 1.278 WHIP. So not great. Strikeouts, 43 to 19. 43 strikeouts to 19 walks in 36 innings. I just think he's still trying to work through some things. I still have hope that he's going to figure some more things out. But what are your thoughts on Spencer?
No, I agree. I think he's still trying to work through some stuff, but I think he's getting better. He's slowly getting his legs underneath him. But I mean, I trust him more than I do Grant Holmes. Not that I'm crapping on Grant Holmes, but you're right. Come playoff time, Grant's in the bullpen. I would trust Martin Perez over Grant Holmes in the playoffs. If it came to that point where we'd need a 4th starter, I would much rather Perez over Grant Holmes there.
Yeah, man. Every time I see Perez's name, it's his turn to start. I'm like, oh boy, is this going to be the one? But he always comes out and does his job. He's a veteran. He knows how to get guys out with low velocity. I forget which game it was. Maybe in the last one he started, they were talking about the average exit velocity on his pitches was the hits, contact made against his pitches, 85. I mean, he knows how to get guys to hit weak ground balls. So, again, you can't argue with results. I know there's a lot of people, and I'm going to play pop psychologist here for Mike. And I want to see for a minute. I want to see if you agree with me. Okay, as a Braves fan of the same age and been through the same things we've been through, I think there are a lot of Braves fans because of the Braves' postseason failures in the past, and there are many. We have to admit that. There are a lot of successes. There are also a lot of failures. Particularly fans have been around recently for 22 and 23, where those two teams really should have been back in the World Series contending for a championship. So when we get to this point, the Braves are they're just mowing people down at this point. Like the Braves have the best record in baseball. They look kind of like a machine at this point. You think you're going to get them like on Sunday, and then they come out in the late innings and get a big hit, and they get the win. They got a 9.5 game lead. So people are already starting to think about October. And fair enough. That's fine. The fans can do that. The players can't afford to do that. The fans can. And so they're looking ahead and they're thinking, okay, here we go again. 2022, we were best team in baseball, or one of. 2023, best team in baseball, or one of them. And then we crapped the bed against the Phillies in the NLDS. So what do we need to do? And so every time they see Grant Holmes go out there and have a rough outing, or Spencer Strider have a rough outing, or they're remembering when Bryce Elder couldn't get through a fourth inning, right? Like those days. I think they're projecting that ahead to October and thinking, yeah, the Braves are pretty good in the regular season, but we can't get it done in October with this group. They're not going to beat the Dodgers or the Brewers or whoever they got to beat when we get to October, or the Phillies. And I think they kind of project that ahead. But the thing is, Mike, this team could look totally different by the time we get there. We don't know who's coming back and when, who might get injured. Cross our fingers that doesn't happen. But the trades that Anthopoulos might make, the guys in the minors that may come up and help, and the Dodgers may look different. We don't know who's going to be healthy for them or not. I mean, I think I understand why people do that. I understand why Braves fans do that because of the postseason failures. But guys, right now it's June. Enjoy what we're doing. We're winning baseball games. It's fun to watch. These guys enjoy what they're doing. They're playing with passion. But I think that's where it comes from, Mike. I think a lot of people are projecting October already. And look, I want to win in October. This will be a big October for the Braves organization. You can't go in there and be one and done. You can't get beaten in LDS this time.
Correct.
So I get it. But right now, that's 4 months away, right? 3 months away. So why not just enjoy the ride?
No, I agree. We do need to enjoy the ride. I mean, it's a long season. We're nowhere near September. We're nowhere near October. Don't worry about the playoffs until we officially make the playoffs. We haven't done. Yes, we might have the best record in baseball. We haven't clinched a playoff spot, so don't act like we're gonna be there. Don't worry about it until we actually get there. I was thinking about this recently. Every time I watch them this year, I feel like we're coming back no matter what. It doesn't always happen. Yeah. I get that.
You feel like they can, though, yeah.
I feel like they can, and it reminds me of 21. Every single, given it was August by the time we were sitting over 500, but I felt like every single time we had a chance to win. No matter what we did, no matter how bad we were down, I felt like we had a chance to win. That's how I feel with this team. Every single time Michael comes off the bench, cold, laces a 3-run double. I mean, you can't expect that. You can't someone who's having, back problems to come up and just lace one down the line and score 3. You can't expect that to happen. But every single time we come up, I feel like something like that's going to happen, and we're going to come back and win the game.
Yeah. No, you're right. I feel like you just never feel like you're out of it. I mean, Sunday, I was kind of busy, but I was kind of keeping up with it on the app and trying to watch it when I could. And it felt like one of those games where we probably weren't going to win, but then in the back of my mind, I'm like, I just got a feeling something's gonna happen, and then Mikey gets the big hit, and the bullpen shuts it down. And Fuentes, by the way, you talk about a grow up moment. He gets a couple guys on, gets a guy at third, I think, with only one out. and ends up getting the big strikeout. And that's just a huge moment for that guy outside of all the implications it could have if, in the trade talk. But just for him personally as a young kid, an amazing feeling, I'm sure, for him to get that save. So the Braves, again, just quick recap. They take 2 of 3 from Toronto. They couldn't quite finish that series off at the end. But another good performance, a home victory, and then they get the sweep over the Pirates and take down Pittsburgh. And look, Pittsburgh's playing some good baseball this year. That's a tough team. We didn't get Skeens in this series, but we still face some good pitching, and the Braves managed to get the sweep. And now we head into a week against the White Sox, who are also surprisingly playing pretty good baseball. The Chicago White Sox.
Can you hear that?
I cannot.
Okay, that's good.
UFO?
No, sounds like it's a helicopter going overhead, but it sounds awfully low to me. So that's why I'm like, what the hell's going on over here?
I thought you were maybe looking off in the distance there at a ghost or something. But yeah.
No, I'm like, it was awfully loud, and I was like, that might be going out over the area.
Well, if you blink out on me, I'll be a little concerned. Hopefully all is well. All is well. But yeah, White Sox coming up next. And the White Sox, they're playing decent baseball for the White Sox, right? This is a pretty good team. I think they're still in second place in the AL Central. But the good news too for the Braves, I think we mentioned this last week. Good news for the Braves, when we get back to Atlanta for the next homestand, looks like hopefully Drake Baldwin will be activated for that homestand. That will be against the Giants and the Brewers that week. So road trip this week at White Sox, and then 3 with the Mets. The first time we've seen the Mets this year. So I'm sure the Mets will be super excited to welcome the Braves to Citi Field, as the Mets are having a great season so far.
Yeah, yes. For us, that's a good thing.
Don't take anything for granted, though. I mean, don't take anything for granted. We could very well go in there and drop 2 or 3 of that in that series. So White Sox, Mets, and then they'll come back home for Giants, Brewers, and hopefully Baldwin will be activated for that. So, Mike, what about the trivia question, man? You gave us a great trivia question last week. You want to read that again and then give us the answer?
Sure. So let me balance this out. All right. So last week's trivia, it was since 1901, only 5 teams have ever had 40 wins by the end of May. 23 Tampa Bay, 24 Philadelphia, 24 Yankees, and our 26 Braves. Can you name the other team to do it?
I figure it's a team from pre-1900. I'm going to guess. Nope. Okay. Well, then I'm wrong. So
not even the 1900s.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Seattle? I'll give you a hint. What year?
2001?
Yes, 2001 Seattle.
Woo!
They went 40-12. That was the year they just went absolutely nuts and then lost to the ALCS.
That's a great example of what I'm talking about. You can have a great regular season. Mm-hmm. How many people remember, I'm sure hardcore baseball fans do, but how many people remember the Mariners having that 117?
16? 116, I think.
Yeah, I was in that range. How many people remember that? They didn't get to the World Series. They lost to the Yankees in the ALCS. And so I think that's, going back to the Braves, you can dominate the regular season, but you better win in October. So great question, though. You got a new one for us?
I do. Excuse me. So, because I was thinking about 21. So it's based off of the 2021 season, and we've been talking a lot about the trade deadline. So we all know the 4 main guys that AA acquired at the 2021 trade deadline. Soler, who won World Series MVP, Eddie Rosario, the NLCS MVP, Jock Peterson with the Pearls, and Adam Duvall, who had a grand slam in Game 5 of the World Series. There was one other person that we acquired that year. Can you name him?
Oh, man. Thought you covered all the bases there. I'll have to think about it. I think I can come up with that one. With a little time to think about it. Great question, though. Great question.
I try and stump you. Even you,
Yeah.
I try and stump you. Even
That's a good one. It's a good one
can I
because
stump Jason?
you named all the big players there. You named all the ones that really made an impact. Maybe this person did too. I'll have to think about it. But to me, to this day, Mike, I think the biggest one, even though statistically, and I know Soler hit the big home runs in the World Series, Jock Peterson changed something on that team, attitude-wise, that I feel like pushed them over. And that's what I'm talking about this trade deadline too. Maybe it's not even so much the talent of the player as it is the personality. But this team already has that. They don't need that team needed Jock Peterson, I think, to do what they did. This team already has some of that swagger, some of that attitude, that belief in themselves. The Dubons make a big difference. Mateo, I think, brings some of that as well. Yastrzemski brings some veteran presence. So, but yeah, I think Jock was so instrumental in that. The Pearls thing, the We Are Those MFers.
Yep.
It was great stuff. Great stuff. Great question, Mike. Good stuff. All right. So another episode in the books, guys. We'll get this one up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts first thing for you. And I appreciate everybody that joined us live as the Braves continue to just steamroll through the Major League Baseball schedule. And we're already in kind of getting towards mid-June, Mike. It'll be All-Star break before you know it, man.
It will be. And let's hope we can get a bunch of our players to Philadelphia.
Let's hope so. More Braves than Phillies. That's what we're going for, right?
Yes, please.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. We'll see you at the ballpark. Go Braves.